Hi, we are here at Guildex with Ellis Clark talking about his latest product, the Black 5 locomotive. Ellis, um, it seems a complicated engine to begin with. What was the reason for choosing this one rather than something simple like a tank engine?
We wanted to do something iconic, wanted to do something impressive with a bit of sort of, a big appeal really. Obviously, they went everywhere, they did everything, and we wanted to do a tender engine because that's how we wanted to enter into the market. And the Black 5 seemed like the perfect choice, to be honest with you. It's your classic steam loco. It's does everything, goes anywhere. But yeah, you are right. It's not an easy one to choose for your first one. Yeah.
That's right. How closely does that follow the preserved examples that we can find on the preserved railways?
Yeah, so we've got a number of preserved ones we're doing. We're doing the Sherwood Forester, for example. We're doing Eric Treacy. We're doing a couple of them as preserved, sort of not now, but a couple of decades ago as well. They follow them quite closely, but with Black Fives, it's a really tricky thing. There were so many different build batches, so many different types. That we've narrowed it down to a build batch of 225. That's the Armstrong Whitworth long firebox build batch, and within that you've got a few preserved ones that we've done, and but as I say, there's so many preserved ones that you think you can do, and then you look at them and you're like, no, we can't do those. There's too many differences and stuff like that.
So the preserved ones you're doing then, do they actually have differences between the models?
Yeah, so we've got a few differences between all the models, really. Obviously, livery goes without saying. All the running numbers, if it's and names, if they're off preserved ones, we've copied them off the preserved ones. So we properly sketch them, so we don't just put generic running numbers as they were preserved. They're completely done as well, as is the artwork. We've got little differences on throughout the model, and they all come with detailing packs as well for things like AWS. They come with a snow plough, for example, which looks really good. I think it'll look really nice weathered on the models as well. So yeah, there's quite a few differences, especially around the smoke box. I think it's the exhaust that changes positions as well on a couple of ours. So yeah, a few differences between them. Yeah.
The models are pretty much all cast as well. I'm surprised. What was the reason for that?
Yeah, so our factory is fantastic at their die casting abilities. That's one of their big things. We also wanted it as much as possible to be self-weighted as opposed to adding weight to it. We have added weight as well just to give it, because there was a space there to give it that extra traction. But yeah, we just think it's obviously a lot more expensive to do, but the more metal we could get in there, the better for the quality, longevity, and as I say, one of the big things, traction as well, really. Obviously, the cab outer is plastic. It had to be for the thickness to get the scales right, but where we could use die cast we have, and for example on the tender sides and back, that's etched brass as well. So it really is an amalgamation of different materials. But like you say, a lot of die cast, including most of the wheels. The rims and the tyres are all die cast or turned steel as well. So yeah.
Your website says that it'll go around radius 2, Pico radius 2.
Yes.
Did that introduce any compromises?
Yes. Yeah. About 18 months worth actually not compromises as such. It took about 18 months to get it to do that, believe it or not. If you ask me, will we do it again? I honestly don't know. It feels worth it now that we've done it, but we didn't want to lose any detail for it. For the second radius, we have had to make detachable insides to the cylinders and the steps, because there's just no way on earth you can get a leading bogie pony truck to negotiate second radius and not touch the insides of the cylinders unless you start moving things out, which we didn't want to do. So what we've done, my designer Nikki, she's come up with a really good way where the parts of the cylinders on the inside unplug and pull out, and you can put them back in as well for 6 foot and 5 foot radiuses and larger. So that's what we sort of had to do to get it around second radius curves. It was a challenge. It was a big challenge, and especially as the motors on the back back driving axle as well. So that doesn't really have much play. So it was all about getting the right amount of play in the front too. But then if you have too much and too much slop, it starts fighting against itself and you lose power. So it was a lot of toing and froing, but we got there. We got there.
So next time, 6 foot radius.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that'd be the easy. As you said, we don't like doing it easy. So yeah.
That's very complicated.
Yeah.
And any other things you'd like to tell us about the locomotive and the model?
Yeah, I suppose when we set about doing this, we wanted to do something completely different. Like you said about the amount of die cast in it, and the amalgamation of different materials, the detail level that we've gone for is just next level. You know, there is everything you can want on it, and we wanted this to be the pride of many people's collection, many people's layout sort of thing. They hand themselves beautifully to weathering as well. There's so many different parts you can highlight on these models. And as well, you get things like in the detailing part, the snow plough, which is just, you don't really see them on steam locos, but the Black Fives had them a lot. And that's just an extra little thing that's nice to add, nice to weather. The cab detail, the amount of backhead detailing is just phenomenal, and pipe work, and all the lubricators are separately fitted, bent copper piping as well. So, you know, and the other thing was as well that the pulling test, and it's got an ABC gearbox and a Maxon motor. They were all made in the UK, and the amount of coaches it'll haul as well, and run forever. We've tested it with 14 of our heavy Mark 1 standard bearings, so that's it.
That's on a level layout.
Bit of an incline as well on that. A little bit of an incline we had on ours. Ours has been battered, our test track, and you know what test tracks get like after years of use. So that includes a bit of an incline, and that's continuous curves as well. So if you put it on straight track, it'll pull more. And if you put rollerball bearings on it, then it'll pull a lot more. But for a steam loco, it really pulls. It really does pull.
I would say for a Model 14 sounds ample.
I doubt we'll get any more than that.
I don't think there are going to be many layouts that have more than that.
No, exactly.
As a requirement.
Totally agree. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. That's
no problem.
brilliant.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Ellis
you.
Clark, thank you.
Yeah, but no, it's the popularity of it has been really nice. Quite a few hundred of them. Can't remember the total amount of it.
Very good. Let's go on the front station as well.
Time. Oh, well, that's better.
Rubbish bag anyway. Uphill at the moment, that's why it's the floor in this place.
What radius is this track? These are the Darstead ones, Darstead Thompsons, yeah.
Oh, he's got
Yes. Yeah.
Hello, I am here at Guildex with Kevin Cartwright, who, along with his wife Judy, runs the Guild shop. And Kevin's here to talk about the new wagons that the Guilds will be selling through the online shop very soon. Kevin?
Thank you. Okay, as James said, my name's Kevin. The Guild have introduced 3 new wagons, as you can see, following the success of the My wagons. The wagons cover a broad swathe of the countryside, in Britain in fact. This particular one, as you can see, covers most of the south, i.e. London, Birmingham and Torquay. We also have a Wigan wagon that covers the north of the country and a Fife coal wagon for the Scottish area. We've picked these 3 wagons, as I say, to cover most of the country. The wagons are the same spec as the My wagons. They're produced by Dapple. They're very nice wagons with sprung buffers. Yeah. And they all have, I don't know whether you can see this, a compensated chassis. They move up and down. Okay. We've kept the price at £42, the same as the last release. Although manufacturing prices have gone up slightly, you'll only be able to get them if you're a Guild member, and they're launched today at this show. You will be able to buy them in the future at the Guild online shop in the normal way. If you've got any queries on the wagons at all, my number is on the Guild shop and website. So that's the wagons. We hope to sell a lot of them because they cost a lot of money. So they're here today, and as I say, they're available in the future on the online shop. However, you will have to pay around £5 postage and packing if you buy them online.